We are Southeastern 16. I'm Chase Robinson. That is Chris Lee, as we're going to talk some Texas A&M football. Three biggest questions as they have their big week one matchup against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame on Saturday night. Will be an exciting game there at Kyle Field in College Station, Texas. Before we dive into that, let's talk about Bet Online. They're the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football, from the preseason NFL to college football kicking off. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Get in on a winner-take-all $300,000 NFL survivor pool for the upcoming season. When the game's over, you can go to the online casino, get in on a game of blackjack or poker or one of the over 150 slots games. Head over to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, and get in on the action. That is promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V. Bet Online, the game starts here. Hey, if you want to sponsor our content here on Southeastern 16, we would love to have that conversation with you. And you can shoot an email to caroline.smith at southeastern14.com. And that can be your inquiry if you want to sponsor our content here. But we have a couple of spots available, so would love to have that conversation with you. Again, caroline.smith at southeastern14.com. All right, three biggest questions for Texas A&M. I think there's a lot of questions on the Aggies this year. New coach, a lot of new players on the field, and we're going to find out early about this A&M team on Saturday night against Notre Dame. But, Chris, I feel like my biggest question to start this is Conor Wegman. Of course, he had a really good year in 22. He kind of revitalized that offense last year, battled that foot injury. And so a big question for me is how does Conor Wegman come back this year? And he doesn't get like we say, some of these teams have an easier game in week one. They play their tougher opponent in week two. No, A&M starts off one of the biggest games in the country as Notre Dame comes to College Station, and he's gonna come back to this A&M team after being hurt last year in one of the toughest opponents that they'll face, that he has faced in Notre Dame, who possibly could be a college football playoff team. But I'm interested to see how he leads this offense after battling injury last year, what he looks like. How does he come back from it, again, facing a really good defense in Notre Dame?
Yeah. Hey, we both like Conor Wegman a lot. He does a lot of things really well, but boy, this is a pressure spot, Chase. He's got a new head coach, new offense, first time back after an injury, big game. You're going to have a six-figure crowd in College Station. People will be up for it in front of everybody. And oh, by the way, a ton of people watching Notre Dame from TV, as is always the case. There's a lot of pressure on Conor Wegman in game one. I'm not saying he's not up to it. I'm just saying that's a lot of stuff to handle coming back from an injury. And oh, by the way, you got two guys behind you in Henderson and Reed who played a decent number of snaps last year. So it's an interesting spot for Conor Wegman. But if A&M can be a college football playoff contender, and I think both of us think they can be, this is a spot that he needs to handle well.
He does. And I mean, I'm interested to see also the play calling that goes with Wegman. I mean, obviously, new coaching staff. Colin Klein is the offensive coordinator now at A&M. What is going to look different? What are they going to do with Conor Wegman that's different from what we've seen in the past? And so I feel like it's just a lot of new and a big game to kind of expose all that new. But yeah, like you said, we both really like Conor Wegman. He does some really good things. And so I'm looking for him this year to have a big year. I feel like I've been waiting to see this from him, but injuries have been a problem for him. And this year, obviously we hope he can make it through the year and really, I feel like, show people what they're missing with Conor Wegman.
Well, and Chase, part of what he needs to take the pressure off him is a solid running game. And A&M has already had Reuben Owens hurt. He's done for the year. Very highly regarded freshman from a year ago who played some. Last year turned into basically a timeshare between Amari Daniels and Le'Veon Moss. And really, other than Daniels being about 3 inches shorter, that they've been the same back. One of them had 105 carries for 5.1 per. The other one, Moss, had 96 for 5.0. Both of them caught double-digit passes. One of them for 102 yards, one of them for 84. So, again, almost the identical back. And, oh, by the way, E.J. Smith, kind of the third down back that they had from Stanford. I think he's Emmitt Smith's son. I'm very interested to see, do they go committee? Is one guy more effective? or do they just kind of split time between those three guys and time share it again this year?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And you mentioned Ruben Owens, just an unfortunate injury before the season even started. But I think Daniels is a great back to lean on, and I think they will have to this year. And that's a good point when it comes to Connor Wegman. He's got running backs to help take the pressure off of him. He's got some receivers as well. But yeah, I think if they can establish the run game early, and especially early in this game, that's going to be most beneficial to them in the long run, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what they can do. By the way, Notre Dame has stockpiled a lot of talent. We are not Notre Dame experts, but I have done a little bit of research on them. The perception is Marcus Freeman has got a roster loaded with talent. Notre Dame has always been good defensively, and so I think it's going to be a real challenge. If you come out of this game as A&M and a couple of those backs have really popped, you're going to be feeling really good about your season ahead.
I think so too, and that's what kind of game this is. Again, like we said, we're going to learn a lot about this A&M team early, and the changes that Mike Elko has made, and really, I feel like the reason they brought Mike Elko in was to get this program back to being a playoff contender, back to having 9-10 win seasons, and it starts in a game like this. And I think A&M can win this game, and we've done our prediction video on it and everything, and I feel like A&M's in a good spot right now with the roster they have. But yes, Notre Dame has a really talented roster as well. And I think if you look at it, they don't have a conference they have to win. They just need to win enough games to get into the college football playoff, and I think they can do this. But yeah, what a game heading into to week one. So what would you say, Chris, is a third biggest question around this A&M team?
Well, let's talk about where the Irish might be vulnerable, and that's at left tackle. They lost their left tackle to the NFL. Their replacement went down in camp with a season-ending injury. And Chase, what was the talk of this A&M team in the offseason? A lot of it centered around the defensive line. They landed Nic Scourton from Purdue, who had 15 tackles for loss, 10 sacks a year ago. But it's Shemar Turner that said, I'm going to go out and get 15 sacks this year. That's a lot for anybody. But they've got him. They've got the other Shemar Stewart at the other defensive end. This is a defensive line between Turner and Scourton and a couple of potential All-American candidates. How aggressively do they attack Notre Dame, particularly at that one tackle spot where Notre Dame is in a tough spot entering the season?
Yeah, I think that's going to be huge, and that's going to be a big key to this game. I think A&M wants to get to Riley Leonard as much as they possibly can. And what's cool about this, another storyline going into this game, of course, Mike Elko coming to A&M from Duke, Riley Leonard going to Notre Dame from Duke. They know each other really well. And so I feel like, and Elko being the defensive mind that he is really going to work, that left side, because I feel like he knows Riley Leonard's tendencies enough to say, hey, here's what he's going to do when pressure comes. Here's what he's going to do with this and that. And so I think that may be a bonus to A&M if they can expose some of these guys up front on the offense for Notre Dame. If they can work the pass, if Scourton is comes to A&M and brings what he did at Purdue last year and really puts pressure on the quarterback, I think Elko, knowing the tendencies so well of Riley Leonard, will be a bonus to A&M on Saturday night.
Yeah, excellent point there. I don't know where that tilts the matchup, but it does feel like it tilts it towards A&M's favor a little bit with the coach having familiarity with his old quarterback.
Yeah, and that always helps. I mean, especially with a defensive-minded coach that Mike Elko is. So it'll be fun to watch Saturday night, A&M and Notre Dame. Huge game. College game day will be there in College Station. A lot of eyes will be on the Aggies of Texas A&M as they open the season with Notre Dame Saturday night. We'll have that game covered as well as the rest of the SEC as games get going here in week one of the college football season. So subscribe to our channel here at Southeastern 16. Share it with your friends. Hit the like button on this video. And we will have you covered all season long here on Southeastern 16. For Chris Lee, I'm Chase Robinson. This is Southeastern 16, presented by BetOnline.